Well, we have a number for you in today's Car Smarts 12. 12 years is the average age of cars in the US, and this could spell disaster for people looking to buy a new car. Here with more is Insider's auto reporter Alexa St. John. Alexa, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
So let's jump right into this. A lot of information we want to unpack. How does the average car age impact consumers?
A lot of different impacts. First of all, folks holding onto their vehicles for much longer means that potentially there aren't as many used vehicles going to the used vehicle market. So that will create sort of a supply and demand crunch there. But also it might have an impact when you go service or repair your vehicle. There might be longer wait times. There might be higher prices just because folks are spending a lot more to maintain their older vehicles, and you might have to wait in line a lot longer.
And what does this mean for the used car market?
There will definitely be more of a crunch. So during the pandemic, prices went up, and we see that prices are still pretty high. They've improved a bit, but they're still up, and so that means that for folks holding on to their vehicles longer, they won't be turning those vehicles into the used market. And anyone in the market for a used car, something a few years old with low mileage, they're not likely to find it. What they're more likely to find there, higher mileage vehicles, a lot older, 12 years at least, and certainly not ones that maybe just came off a lease contract.
Right. And then, of course, we have automakers. They're staring down a long road due to economic concerns. I wanted to know, for people who want to cash in and get great deals, what can they do? Will there be a time for that?
You really should keep an eye on certain brands, certain makes, models. So there's not necessarily a specific window that folks can look towards. As I said, things are improving from pandemic times where prices were through the roof, and they still really are on both the new and used side. But folks should look out for incentives from certain brands. We know the domestic automakers, companies like Ford, General Motors, they are starting to introduce more incentives for customers to get them to come to dealership lots, take a look at their inventory. There's also certain types of vehicles you might want to look for. So if you're in the market for a really popular SUV right now, odds are you probably won't get a great deal. If you're willing to maybe take a look at a sedan, those are far less popular these days, so you might be able to get a deal there. And then if you consider certain pickups, it really goes back to that brand again. So I would really recommend folks take a look at the domestic companies, or maybe consider something that they might not have normally.
Good advice. Another thing we know is that car dealerships are losing banks that are willing to finance their purchases from the automakers. So how can the average person actually cash in on this?
I think it's really just important that folks do their research right now, with interest rates, with pricing the way that it is, with supply and demand still kind of up in the air, inventory challenges, all of these things impacting a consumer's car purchase. It's important to know, what sort of deals you're looking to get before you even head into a dealership. It's important to know different options in terms of financing, and in terms of rates. Just because then you kind of go into a potential purchase or a lease agreement really knowing what sort of options are available for you.
Very important. I know you touched on this a little bit, but I really want to dive into those indicators for coming deals in the car market. What should people be looking out for? Give us your advice there.
My best advice, really keep an eye on certain brands and dealership lots, because remember, throughout pandemic, all lots really were empty or down to bare bones vehicle inventory. Because of that, prices were so high, it really did hurt consumers. We're still looking at average new vehicle costs of around $47,000, $48,000. That's
Yeah.
pretty pricey. And used vehicles too. I think they're around 27, 28,000. So this is unprecedented. But for folks looking for those deals, pay attention to commercials, pay attention to the news. Do research. Again, certain brands, they might be sitting on more vehicles on their lots than others. I know there's quite a few F-150 pickups, for example, on lots right now. They have far more supply at their dealers than, say, the Toyota RAV4. So it's just important. You might have to compromise a little bit in terms of what you're looking for, but there are deals out there. There are starting to be more deals out there, especially as certain dealers and some automakers have more inventory than others.
Excellent advice. Alexa, thank you so much for your time with us today. For those of you at home, if you would like more information on this, you can head over to businessinsider.com. Alexa, thank you so much. We'll be right back with more Daily Flash.